spam is going to be obsolete. You can't spam people anymore. Spam is not going to work anymore. People are just going to look at things that are relevant to them because the AI is just going to feed them things that are relevant. So if I send you something that AI will see as like, dude, this guy knows everything about you and he's talking to you as you, it's going to let it pass through. Versus if you're just saying, hey, decision maker, I see we have a mutual connection. Would you like to? No, that's never going to fly because you're being lazy because you're not using all the tools you have available right now.
I still had amazing DMs, a lot of great connection calls, and I definitely got clients from the first month I was on LinkedIn, just by serving first, not being a douchebag about it, trying to be, just being human and respecting people, because that's
so powerful.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about the dark side, because I think some people have been exposed to LinkedIn, they got pitch slapped in their DMs. Immediately got turned off by the whole thing.
So much. They hate it so much. Yeah. Especially you're a Cancer, right? You were born in July, am I right?
Correct.
1979. So, like LinkedIn gives me information about people that you can't get anywhere else. Like, how do you know somebody's astrology sign from LinkedIn? You just do. Like, these are the things.
Usually that's only on my OnlyFans. So this is actually really
insightful.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, I know exactly who you are. I mean, we were born in the same year. We're both water signs, so we have that in common. So when you're building a relationship with somebody and you're getting to know them, you can see when they graduated school. You can see this information that when you run it through AI, I have an AI that sits on top of LinkedIn and tells me how old everybody is and their gender. Like, I know your gender. I can tell your gender. Even if you change it, I can still tell it. But LinkedIn tells me everything. And it's just so powerful what you can know from these tools if you use them correctly and you start learning how to use them. And that's why I'm so passionate. And I used to have an ego thing about, I'm a CEO. I can't call myself a LinkedIn trainer. I'm a CEO. But then that was just ego. Like if I really want to help people, I got to put on that cap of like, call me. I'm your LinkedIn trainer. Let me help you. Like stop having an ego about it and stop worrying about it. I'm turning 45. Like you just turned 45, but I'm turning 45. It's a thing. It's like we're on the other edge of 40. Like we're on the other side. Like our ego, it's time for to say goodbye to that ego.
We're gonna be saying goodbye to the world soon enough. I might as well say goodbye to the ego, right?
Crazy.
No, that's great. I think that, obviously you're demonstrating live, and you did this whenever we had our first call where it's like, hey, you should do this to your profile. And I noticed this about your history and like you're demonstrating live the power of being,
LinkedIn,
inquisitive and insightful.
And LinkedIn, if you attach other big data, it says, oh, this person lived in the same house for 20 years. That's what it says. Like it like tells you, wow, like this information about, you can learn something about people that you would not be able to learn if you didn't have AI together with it. So, but even just looking at the basic raw data from LinkedIn, you can see so much about somebody.
And so, follow-up question to that, and as we get maybe 5 minutes from now, I kind of start to close things out and let you just have the mic and teach us the LinkedIn growth strategies. I think you've demonstrated there's lots of data on individuals on LinkedIn. There's lots of people on LinkedIn. The people on there have money and they're there for business purposes. So it's a great environment for growing your business. So I guess the so what question. Hey, I'm a Cancer, I'm 45, how long I lived in my house and I have where I went to school. So what? So if I'm sitting here listening, I'm like, that's really cool, Joe. I want to like grow my coaching business. So how do I use that sort of information to give me an advantage?
Very simple. If I'm on the phone with you, I can talk to you about the fact that you're a father of 3 that enjoys spending time with his family. I can ask you, like, what inspired you to start your journey with podcast guesting? I know that you generate over $2 million in revenue from podcasts alone. I know that your main service is podcast guesting strategy. I know that you're looking for mission-driven experts and entrepreneurs. I know that your business helps mission-driven experts build 7-figure brands by telling their stories through podcast guesting. If I'm going to talk to you and I use your language and what you do based on what I know, if I know that Matthew Pollard is one of our mutual connections, or Darren Marago, or 407 other people, and I know 8,706 connections. If I have that information, the fact that I know that we connected on June 10th, 2024 on LinkedIn, the fact that I can create an intro in 1 second with AI using Evie AI that says, meet Dustin Reichman. He's the founder of 7-Figure Leap. His LinkedIn is boom, boom, boom. Dustin helps mission-driven experts add 6 figures to their bottom line by mastering the art of podcast guesting and helps entrepreneurs achieve marketing success with strategic storytelling. His email is X, his cell is X. I recommend Dustin. Think about that for a second. That relationship that we now have, the fact that I know that you live in Glen Carbon, Illinois, the fact that I know about you, I can send you messaging that would make you say, hang on a second, this is not just a spammer. He's only sending this to me. He's not sending it to 500 people. He's only sending this to me. You can craft messages to hundreds of people at the same time, if not thousands of people, that are each extremely personalized. I believe that that is the next level of marketing. Next year, when AGI is going to come out, or the year after, when people are spam is going to be obsolete. You can't spam people anymore. Spam is not going to work anymore. People are just going to look at things that are relevant to them because the AI is just going to feed them things that are relevant. So if I send you something that AI will see as like, dude, this guy knows everything about you and he's talking to you as you, it's going to let it pass through. Versus if you're just saying, hey, decision maker, I see we have a mutual connection. Would you like to? No, that's never going to fly because you're being lazy because you're not using all the tools you have available right now. So that's what I tell people. Right now, you have tools available to personalize and customize messages to people so you build real, authentic relationships, both in cold calling, texting, emailing, LinkedIning, or even in person. Sometimes I'll go to a coffee shop and I'll meet someone who's extremely attractive financially, and I'll say, hello, how are you? Can you scan this QR code on my phone? And they'll be like, sure, I can scan it. When they scan it, I see who they are because I can see who looked at my LinkedIn profile. And now I know everything about them. If I'm sitting on a plane in first class next to somebody else, sure, I could fly private, but I'd rather fly first class and hang out with the millionaires in first class and just chill and have a conversation. I'm like, by the way, I just found this QR code on LinkedIn. I wonder what happens if you scan it. And then they scan it, and I know everything about them without even asking them their name, because it's the last thing you want to do is say, hey, what do? You look like you got money. Look at that rock on you, You don't want to do that. You just say, scan this QR code, and boom, now I see who they are. Crazy.